You didn't quit because it was too hard. You quit because somewhere, deep down, you began to believe the lie that it wasn't possible for you. Be honest. Was it the pain that broke you, or the whisper that told you the pain wasn't worth it? Every quitter has a reason, but most lie to themselves about what that reason truly is. You didn't stop chasing your goal because circumstances were cruel. You stopped because you forgot why you began. You forgot the fire that once burned so brightly it terrified everyone who doubted you. But here's the truth they never tell you. Pain doesn't break people. Meaninglessness does. The moment your why fades, your will follows. You can survive storms that would crush most people, but the second you forget who you are and why you fight, you fall. Think back to the moment you started. Do you remember how unstoppable you felt? You had no idea how, but you had faith that you'd figure it out. You were a dreamer, lit up with impossible ambition. But along the way, someone told you to be realistic. Someone told you you weren't cut out for greatness. And instead of rejecting their fear, you absorbed it. You called it logic, maturity, practicality, but in truth, it was surrender disguised as wisdom. You quit not because you lacked effort, but because you stopped believing that effort mattered. You started measuring your progress with a clock instead of a compass. You wanted results now, proof now, success now. When progress didn't arrive on your schedule, you mistook delay for denial. But destiny doesn't move on your timeline. It moves when you're ready to carry the weight of what you've asked for. Let me ask you something. How many times have you walked away from something right before it was about to work? How many times have you felt exhausted, only to realize later that the real breakthrough was days, maybe hours away? You see, life tests you, but not to break you, to measure the depth of your desire. The universe doesn't reward effort alone. It rewards endurance. So if you've quit, if you've walked away, don't punish yourself. Don't drown in guilt. Just admit the truth. You gave up because fear convinced you that it was safer to stop trying than to risk failing again. And that's where your power begins, when you stop lying to yourself. The real battle is not against failure. It's against the habit of giving up when things stop being easy. Every time you quit, you teach your mind to doubt your strength. Every time you keep going despite fear, you build a new truth. I can take the hit and rise higher. The people you admire most are not the ones who never fell. They're the ones who fell 1,000 times and still refused to surrender. They mastered one secret that changes everything. Consistency is greater than intensity. You don't need explosions of effort. You need persistence through boredom, through fear, through the days when no one claps for you. You think the greats didn't feel doubt? They did. But they made a decision that most people never make. They decided that emotion was not their master. You may not control how you feel, but you can always control what you do next. And that's where the difference lies. Winners keep walking when the path disappears. They keep building when there's no applause. They keep believing when logic gives them 50 reasons to stop, because they understand something most people forget. Your breakthrough isn't a moment. It's a series of ordinary days where you refuse to quit. You may be tired right now. You may feel invisible, like no one sees the effort, like the world doesn't care, but the universe is watching. Every ounce of effort is a seed, and seeds grow in silence. You don't see the roots, but they're spreading beneath the surface, preparing for the moment you bloom. Most people walk away during the root stage. They think silence means failure. It doesn't. Silence is preparation. You quit because you lost patience with the process, because you forgot that creation takes time. You wanted the fruit without nurturing the roots. But tell me, would a farmer dig up the soil every week to check if his seeds were growing? Of course not. He waters them, he trusts them, and he knows growth happens quietly, invisibly, relentlessly. If you want to rise again, and I know you do, start by forgiving yourself. Forgive the version of you that doubted, that gave in, that let fear whisper louder than purpose. That version didn't fail. It was learning what it feels like to walk without faith. Now you know the sting of quitting, and that pain can become your power, because pain, when understood, becomes direction. You're not supposed to escape it. You're supposed to use it. The pain of quitting is the echo of the dream that refuses to die. It's your soul reminding you that you still have work to do. So what if you start again? What if instead of asking, what if it doesn't work, you start asking, what if I don't stop this time? What would your life look like if you just refused to quit again? Imagine the version of you that keeps going regardless of fear. Imagine waking up a year from now, looking back and realizing, I didn't quit, not this time. People love to say everything happens for a reason, but sometimes the reason something broke was to teach you that you can rebuild it stronger. Sometimes your failure was the classroom where destiny decided to train your patience, your hunger, your character. So don't despise the fall. It's evidence that you were moving. You can only fall if you were walking forward. The only real failure is standing still and calling it peace. If you ever feel tempted to quit again, remember, the obstacles you face aren't proof that you're off track. They're proof that you are on the path. Roads with no resistance lead nowhere worth going. The real reason you quit wasn't weakness. It was forgetfulness. You forgot how powerful you truly are. You forgot that every great story begins in struggle. You forgot that you were built for the climb. But now, right here, you remember. You feel that spark again. The one you tried to bury under disappointment and fear. That's your calling. That's your truth. Feed it. Protect it. Because once you truly understand that the only thing standing between you and the life you want is the decision not to give up again, everything changes. Quitting is easy. Anyone can do it. But finishing, that's divine. Finishing is what transforms doubt into destiny. Finishing is what makes the impossible inevitable. So rise again. Start from where you are, even if you feel broken, because broken pieces still build empires when arranged with purpose. Let today be the day you draw a line in the sand and say, I will never quit again. And when that moment comes, when fatigue whispers, when fear returns, when silence feels unbearable, you'll remember tonight. You'll remember that pain is temporary, but quitting makes it permanent. You'll remember that the real reason you quit won't matter anymore because the person who used to give up no longer exists. You've been reborn in fire, and this time you'll finish what you started.